Hello friends, vinyl community. Welcome to my vinyl inbox for the month of January 2015. These are the records I purchased this month. Just wanted to go ahead and share with you what I've been picking up in the past month. It's a pretty good month, so let's just go ahead and get into this. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone's having a great new year. So yeah, first things first, we got a stack of records here that came from the Hospice Attic thrift store nearby the house here. Sometimes I can find some really great stuff there. Found some pretty cool things. First thing we have here is Marvin Gaye's Midnight Love from 1982. This one has Sexual Healing on it. So a later Marvin Gaye release. That was cool to pick up. These were, they're 50 cents there, so these were all 50 cents. Second album we have here is Sparks in Outer Space from 1983. I've heard of Sparks before, but haven't really dived into their music very much, so at some point in the future I'll have this in the inbox and pull it out and see what Sparks are all about. And here is an upgrade copy to something I recently talked about in the first episode of Digging in the Dr. Deadwax box. We had Lisa Olson's copy of this album, and now we have a nice clean copy of Gary Newman's The Pleasure Principle, 1979 I believe. 79. An album I did really enjoy a lot. Wanted to find a nice copy of this, and just so happens found one at the Hospice thrift store, still in shrink here. Like I said, 50 cents. Still has the insert. This one's not ripped, and it doesn't have Lisa Olson's name on it. Nice clean upgrade to that already, so that was an awesome find. And the last pickup from Hospice is Simply Red's Men and Women. This one is from 1987 on this one. So those were my pickups from there. And then I have another stack from another visit to the Hospice thrift store. Found some really cool old 60s pop type stuff here. First thing we have here is the Buckingham's Portraits. Like this one quite a bit actually. I had a chance to listen to it some. Good album. I really enjoyed that one. Copy of Talk Talk's It's My Life. I do already have this. Wasn't going to leave it for 50 cents. Definitely wanted to have an extra copy of that. Possible trades or whatnot. We got Jan and Dean's Folk and Roll. See a date on this one. Oh, here it is on the front. 1965 on this one. Gary Puckett and the Union Gap. Incredible. Alright, next up we got another copy of Keith Jarrett's The Cologne Concert. Finally got a chance to actually listen to this. This is my third copy of this in the inbox, and I decided to go ahead and give this a spin. I do want to send a copy of this to Grown Man Record Night guys. I know they were wanting a copy of this, and finally got to hear it for myself, and I see why everybody likes this so much. A very interesting piece of music, a very interesting experience. It really translates well on record. The whole story behind this album is really interesting. There's a podcast an episode of a BBC series that talks about different live albums, and they feature this one in one episode. And it's really a cool story and just a really interesting piece of music. And I'm glad I finally took the time to listen to this, and it's really enjoyable and definitely right up my alley when it comes to piano music. It's very live, it's very real, it's very communicative. It's just really cool, awesome stuff. Some people say it's overrated, but I really like it a lot. So this is good. Glad to have an extra copy of that. I got a copy of Wes Montgomery's Bumpin' on Verve Records. And then a copy of Easy by Grant Green. This one's on the Versatile label. So those were all the other thrift store finds. Next up, I have a stack of records here from the Dollar Bin at Arrow's Aim Records. It's been a while since I've been through the Dollar Bin there, so I took some time to go through and pulled out a few things that were interesting. First thing we got here is Jamie J. Morgan, Shotgun. This is some very dancey pop kind of music, a little bit like maybe like a George Michael or something like that. does a cover of Walk on the Wild Side that was just okay. It's just okay. I probably won't end up keeping this, but it's an interesting listen. I spun a little bit of it so far. But for $1, it's an interesting listen. I got a copy of Wings at the Speed of Sound. This is one I thought I had, and I went looking for it sometime last year and couldn't find it. So pick this up for $1. You know, it's not something you need to pay a lot of money for, but I do like this album quite a bit, and definitely wanted to put that back in the collection. I knew I had it at one point, and I don't know if it's one of the ones that got water damage back when I had the flood or not, but anyway, got it again now. Next up we have an album from EU, Living Large. This is the album with Debut on it. Pick that up. This next one was kind of a strange find. The cover caught my eye at first on this, and then I started reading the liner notes, and I realized that David Gilmour plays guitar on here. But this is Leona Boyd's Persona. Leona Boyd is from the UK, but she moved to Canada at a very young age, Toronto, and grew up there. She's a sort of an instrumental piano, or not piano, instrumental guitarist. This album was different than I expected it to be, especially with David Gilmour on there. I figured it would be a little more upbeat, a little more rock and roll. This has a very pleasing, a very soft, new age kind of sound to it. Not exactly what I was hoping for, but an interesting piece of music. And also Eric Clapton plays on one of the songs on here. So I thought it was just interesting that, you know, David Gilmour and Eric Clapton were on here, and for $1 I thought I'd give it a try. So if you like sort of a new age guitar sound, then check out Leona Boyd. She's very highly renowned, I guess you could say, for guitar work. Maybe some of her other albums are a little more upbeat. Like I said, this one is kind of soft for me, but enjoyable nonetheless. And the last thing I got from the dollar bin is the remix album here from Bobby Brown, Dance You Know It, 1990 or 1989. 1989, this is where they did a bunch of dance mixes of songs off his first 2 albums. Basically just the record label trying to cash in on his popularity at the time, I guess. We all know about the problems that Bobby Brown has with chemical substances, so they just wanted to put out some product, and probably he wasn't doing very well. So anyway, this is a fun album, really upbeat. It was great. I spun this on Friday night, and it was a nice one for a Friday night, kind of a party mood kind of thing. So let's get on to the new vinyl purchases. I picked up the first album I have here is the most recent album from another, I believe, Toronto band. I know they're from Canada. This is the most recent release from the band Stars. This is their album No One Is Lost. It was released in October of 2014. The only other experience I've had with Stars so far is In Our Bedroom After the War, which is a very indie rock sort of total album experience. Not necessarily a concept album, but it sort of has a nice theme that runs through it anyway. This one is a lot more synthy. It's a lot more upbeat, party, very poppy. Doesn't have that sort of wholeness to it. These sound more like a collection of tracks, but just some good, decent pop music. As I said, not as great as In Our Bedroom After the War, but an enjoyable. I think this would be a better summertime kind of album. It has that very summertime party kind of vibe to it. Skating rink on the cover and everything. Actually, I'll show you the gatefold on this one. It's pretty cool. It's that carpet that I think every skating rink in the world had. Pretty sure the skating rinks I've been to have had this carpet. Anyway, that was pretty cool. Also, this is on a 2 LP set on this sort of neon pink clear vinyl. There was supposed to be a download code with this as well, but I did not get that, so I'll try and contact the record company about that and see if I can get a download for this. But also, this is their first release on ATO Records. I guess they've switched labels. But yeah, very different album from what I've heard in the past from Stars. Very poppy, very fun, upbeat, summertime, very party. This is great party music. It's not incredibly deep music. It's great pop, party, synthy kind of music. So if you're into the 80s kind of stuff, check this one out. You might like it. One release from this month. This is the new album from Panda Bear. It's titled Panda Bear Meets the Grim Reaper, I'm pretty sure is the title of it. Once again, sort of a continuation of Panda Bear's, this one, Tomboy up here. You can't really see it on the frame there, but a continuation of the Tomboy sound, in my opinion. Very dreamy, beachy, kind of chill kind of sounds, very echoey, somewhat psychedelic kind of sounds. Pretty good, pretty enjoyable album. Not amazing. Enjoyed hearing this month, so that was the one single January release I bought. Alright, next thing I have here is from The National. This is their 2010 album, High Violet. I picked up several CDs from the library last year of The National and found that I really liked them. So one night when I was in the record store digging through, looking for stuff, I came across this album, and I really do like. I really did remember enjoying hearing this on CD, and I thought I would pick it up. It's on the 4AD label. Beautiful packaging here. Nice sort of metallic embossing. Some nice inner sleeves on it. Of course, this is a later pressing since it was first released in 2010. The original pressings of this were on purple vinyl, which would have been really cool. I love purple. So just a great album for The National. Great indie rock stuff here. I really do like The National quite a bit, and I'd like to pick up some more stuff from them in the future. Okay, and these last two pieces here I picked up this past Saturday. I went to see a showing of a documentary called Records Collecting Dust. It's a new documentary that's sort of being toured around, and Aero's Record Store was connected with this and sort of got the film to be shown here in Gainesville, and it was shown for 3 nights, and I happened to catch it on the last night. It's called Records Collecting Dust, as I said. Very much a documentary about albums and records. It's very punk focused. Most of the people that they talk to are punk musicians and sort of dealing with that genre of music, but it's kind of interesting to hear them talk about the albums that they remember from their childhood, or the albums that inspired them to get into music, and those kind of things. So it was a good enjoyable documentary for me. I didn't really know who a lot of the people were in the documentary, but it was still an enjoyable documentary for me. So if you get a chance to check that out, I do recommend it. What we got here are 2 releases from the band Can. First thing we have here is I guess you could say technically their last album. This is Out of Reach from 1978. And then this is just Can from 1979. This was actually released after the band broke up. They broke up in 78. So these 2 albums are sort of my entrance into Can. I really want to get Future Days. I think that's probably going to be the Can I like the most. These were interesting, challenging. There were some good moments. They have sort of a little bit of a funkadelic sound on these albums. A little bit maybe Santana-like, with those very slow guitar jam kind of thing feel to them. Like I said, really good at times. Other times, kind of cheesy. There are some synthesizer pieces on here. Overall, these are just okay albums. I guess I could say if these are the worst that Can does, then I'm looking forward to hearing more. These are enjoyable. These were enjoyable to listen to, but they're not great. If you're in the mood for sort of just a solo guitar jam, sort of like a maggot brain kind of sound, and then these are pretty good. And, it's really nice music to listen to. So those are my pickups for January. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Hope you all have a great week, great month, and look forward to seeing a lot more. So thanks again. See you again soon. Cheers.